Let's be honest, we are drowning in sustainability data. But are we actually making any real progress? Today, we're going to explore how AI is starting to cut through the incredible chaos of corporate ESG, that's environmental, social, and governance, to give us something we all desperately need, a little bit of clarity. Okay, let's just start with the scale of this thing. By 2030, the ESG software market is expected to be worth $2.8 trillion. I mean, that is a massive global investment. It's a huge signal that companies are, at the very least, financially committed to trying to get this right. But, here's the trillion-dollar question, isn't it? With all of this money flying around, are we actually moving the needle? Or are companies just kind of lost in a sea of data, struggling to find the signal in all that noise? This right here, this is the core challenge, and it's setting the stage for a total AI-driven revolution. So to really understand the problem, we have to start with the data itself, because really, at its heart, the entire world of ESG is built on information. But as you're about to see, not all information is created equal, not by a long shot. I mean, think about it for a second. If you want to judge how sustainable a company is, you have to pull information from all over the place. Annual reports, news articles, regulatory filings, even social media. This data is messy, it's unstructured, inconsistent, and it's incredibly difficult to compare across different companies or industries. It's a total data jungle out there. And this is where our hero enters the story: artificial intelligence. It's emerging as this absolutely essential catalyst, the one tool that's actually powerful enough to make sense of all this noise, and you guessed it, bring some clarity to all the chaos. So, what does AI actually do in this situation? Well, to put it simply, it uses these really smart algorithms to read and understand those mountains of messy data. It can spot hidden patterns, it can predict future risks, and it can identify new opportunities that a human analyst, well, they might just miss. It's kind of like turning that data jungle into a perfectly organized, beautiful garden. Now, to figure out how different AI companies are actually tackling this problem, researchers use this framework to map out their strategies. You can think of it like a blueprint. It shows us who their customers are, what problems they're trying to solve, and how they create value. We're going to use this basic idea to look at the three main types of AI platforms shaking up the ESG space. But hold on. Before we go any further, it's really important we talk about the AI paradox. Because on one hand, its promise for ESG is just immense. We're talking proactive risk management, automated compliance, incredible new insights. But on the other hand, AI has its own ESG baggage, right? Like the high energy use of data centers. It's an unbelievably powerful tool, but it's one we have to be really careful with. So let's get to the core of it. What the research shows is that there are three distinct profiles of AI platforms out there, each one reshaping the ESG world by tackling a different piece of the puzzle. First up, we've got the data wranglers. These platforms are laser-focused on that fundamental problem we just talked about, cleaning up all that messy, unstructured data and just getting it into a format that's actually usable. The whole job of this first profile is to be a bridge, a really crucial bridge. They take in all this raw, chaotic data from all over the place, and they transform it into something standardized, clean, and totally ready for ESG analysts and big companies to use. Their entire mission is to create order from chaos. So the key thing to get here is that this first profile, it's the foundation for everything else. Companies like Databricks or Trifacta, they aren't necessarily giving you the final ESG score. What they're doing is creating the clean, reliable data that makes all the other analyses even possible. Without this step, the whole thing just falls apart. All right, so now that we have some clean data, the second profile can finally get to work: financial analysis. These platforms add a whole new layer of intelligence, and it's aimed specifically at the world of finance. So here, the focus totally shifts. Now we're talking about customers like investors and fund managers. The goal isn't just clean data anymore. It's about delivering real-time, actionable insights that can directly influence multi-million-dollar investment decisions. So, in a nutshell, platforms like FactSet and Preqin are connecting a company's ESG performance directly to its financial risk and opportunity. They help investors figure out which companies are leading the pack on sustainability and which ones might be hiding some serious risks. This is where ESG data really starts to move markets. Our third and final profile. This one tackles a different but equally massive challenge: managing the insane complexity of global supply chains and making sure everyone is following the rules. What this platform offers is all about automation and oversight. It helps a huge global brand monitor, say, thousands of suppliers all around the world, checking for everything from labor practices to environmental standards, and it does it all in real time. So for companies like Assent and RepRisk, the biggest benefit is transparency and cutting down risk deep inside a company's operations. They answered those really tough questions, like, are my suppliers actually meeting environmental regulations, or are there human rights risks somewhere in my supply chain? It's all about making the invisible visible. So let's just put it all together real quick. We have the data wranglers building the foundation. Then we have the financial analysts turning that data into actual investment strategy. And finally, the supply chain managers ensuring everything is running smoothly and by the book. Three really distinct roles, all powered by AI, all working to create a much, much clearer picture of corporate sustainability. Okay, so let's step back for a second. What does all of this really mean? This isn't just about some fancy new software. This is a fundamental shift in how businesses operate and, honestly, how we even measure what success looks like. There's this quote from the research that it nails it perfectly. AI isn't just another tool in the toolbox. It's a catalyst. It's an active ingredient that's speeding up and enabling a whole new ecosystem of sustainable innovation. And this is why it matters to all of us. This technology is helping shift corporate accountability from just vague promises to actual measurable action. It's redirecting trillions of investment dollars toward companies that are doing better. And it's giving us a level of transparency into the products we buy that was, frankly, impossible before. So, for the first time, really, AI is giving us this high-definition picture of what corporate sustainability looks like, replacing that old, fuzzy, incomplete image we used to have. The great question that leaves us with is this. Now that we can see everything so clearly, what are we going to choose to do with that knowledge?